name is Cynthia Pereda, and I am the director for the National Applied AI Consortium. And I'm very excited that everyone is here and being able to bring this opportunity to everyone. And with that, I'm going to pass it on over to Antonio Delgado.
Thank you, Cynthia. And I see the numbers growing of participants, so probably give it a couple of minutes. We're right at the hour.
Yes. So just some housekeeping so you're all aware, you can go ahead and write in the chat, but I would recommend that if you do have some questions, you can put it in the Q&A, and Jane and I will make sure to do our best efforts to answer those there. And the ones that we can't answer, we will pin Alex or Kevin so that they could go ahead and answer those. And there will be an opportunity at the end to specifically address those as well. So I see that there is a question on the chat already. Will the recording be sent out? So I will then, all the participants, I will email them after. Probably most likely it'll be tomorrow with a recording of the session, as well as a link to our website where you'll be able to see it. Okay, we're just going to give a few minutes so that way to allow some more guests to come in.
So while we wait, I see a couple of questions already about contact information, follow up. That's going to be provided as part of the presentation. So, yep, that's the whole point. Okay, so probably we can start. See, we have over 150 participants and still growing, but in the interest of time, welcome everyone. My name is Antonio Delgado. I'm the Vice President of Innovation and Technology Partnerships at Miami-Dade College and one of the leaders behind the National Applied AI Consortium that is bringing this info session with OpenAI Academy. We're super excited to present to you what OpenAI Academy is doing for overall, especially affecting educators, students, and administrators of community colleges. But before passing the baton to the OpenAI Academy team, wanted to introduce the National Applied AI Consortium. For those of you that don't know what it is, this is a consortium led by 3 community colleges in the United States: Miami-Dade College, Maricopa Community College, and Houston Community College. And our goal is really to support community colleges to deliver world-class AI education and develop a skilled national AI workforce. We truly believe that the nation needs an AI-ready workforce, and we are committed to do it through community colleges. And to accomplish that, we have partnered with leading AI companies. Like today, we bring OpenAI Academy to share the resources. We also partner with a few other leading companies, Microsoft, AWS, Google, Intel, and others, to really bring education resources for all academic institutions that want to teach AI. And we also do offer training for the community college faculty, so professional development on how to teach artificial intelligence to your students. The consortium also provides mentorship to the colleges that need help to implement AI degrees, and we also host an annual conference to support community colleges that we meet in person. We create a community of practice that we can gather and meet in person with our partners, industry partners, colleagues, faculty, and really move the nation forward with an AI-ready workforce. Couple of items about the consortium. In the first 6 months, we already created a national business industry leadership team that is guiding the direction. As we know, AI is changing quickly, so they help us create a knowledge, skills, and abilities assessment on how community colleges should be teaching. And we are already offering training to faculty nationally at no cost. We have already over 7,000 hours of training already delivered, and we continue offering new training every single month, either for certification, either how to teach AI, or just resources that are available, like the ones that we're presenting to you today. We have served over 450 faculty from 180 colleges and growing. This is all over the nation from more than 40 states, and we expect to get to really every single state in the nation. And finally, we already kick off the mentorship. We have done it for 3 colleges, and we're right now receiving applications for the next academic year, where we're going to be accepting 10 new colleges for mentorship on how to implement AI degrees. Finally, if you want to join our newsletter, this is a QR code. If following us on LinkedIn or just reaching out, this is our contact information from the consortium. But that's it, only 5 minutes. So I can pass it to why you joined this session is to really learn about OpenAI Academy. So it's really my pleasure to introduce our collaboration with OpenAI, introducing Alex to take it from here to introduce the Academy. Alex, thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much, Antonio, for that introduction. And let me just share my screen real quick. Um, cool. So I'm Alex. I'm the leader of OpenAI Academy. And yeah, thanks again, Antonio and Cynthia, for having us here today. OpenAI Academy is a relatively new initiative that started earlier this year, really focused on helping different groups, including educators and learners, take advantage of AI, start using it in their day-to-day lives, and do that in a way that will help them unlock opportunity. And we've been, like I said, we started earlier this year, but we actually did our very first pilot program with one of the colleges in the consortium, Miami-Dade College, December of last year. And so we've been enjoying our partnership with the consortium since then. So a little bit more about OpenAI Academy. It's completely free. It's an educational initiative that is focused on helping people solve problems and unlock opportunity by using AI. What we offer more specifically includes webinars and workshops. So these are either inline or online or in person, focused on practical applications of AI tailored to different audiences or use cases. So it could be educators, it could be students, it could be small businesses, but all kind of share that through line of a practical approach to beginning to use and apply AI tools. Um, Second thing we offer are videos and guides. So these are on-demand curated resources available on our website, which are usually short form, like 5 to 10 minutes, and will focus on one particular use case. That could be using the deep research tool to research for a project, as an example. And then the third thing we offer are themed learning groups. So these could be organized by topic or by audience, and then are kind of online discussions and events that those learning groups can partake in, and interact with each other for peer-to-peer learning. To really focus on kind of a community-based approach to learning and education here. So there's a number of ways you can use OpenAI Academy right now. So as I mentioned, OpenAI Academy's resources are free. So that means that you can cross-post and share all of our AI educational videos with your faculty or students. You can actually embed this content directly into your LMS or professional development program. So while it's all hosted on OpenAI Academy's website, if you're interested in embedding it in one of your own platforms, then you can reach out to us and we can help you with that. And then I think you can also just encourage your faculty and staff to join OpenAI Academy and stay updated with the latest tools and resources. So we really try to stay up to date in terms of sharing the latest learnings about the latest products and tools and making sure that everybody who has access to OpenAI Academy and is following along gets kind of first access to that educational content. So here's a screenshot of the website. It's academy.openai.com. As you can see here, we have events. So some of these are in person, others are virtual, and you can register right here on the platform. Then we have content. These are all examples of some of that short form video content. A lot of our content is community generated. So that means that we'll work with some external partner, whether it is a university or college or a nonprofit or another organization that might have deep domain expertise in how a particular domain is using AI. and we'll work with them to create content for a specific audience. So this one here, the AI for Intro to AI for K-12 educators is an example where we collaborated with an educational nonprofit called Common Sense Media to have K-12 educators come and talk about how they're using AI in the classroom. So I think what's really nice about OpenAI Academy is there's a mix of that kind of community-generated content that shows these real-world applications of AI, as well as some lessons and content developed directly by OpenAI's engineers. So you really get that kind of combination, which I think can be really helpful for kind of getting a full view of both what's the latest, what are the newest tools, and also how are different groups that you might be a part of, an educator or a student, using these tools in the real world. There's a few ways for those who are interested that you can partner with OpenAI Academy at a little bit of a deeper level. One can be hosting a webinar. So, the one that we're on today is a great example of that, but being able to kind of highlight different resources for people who are adopting AI, both that the partner might be developing or leading, as well as what OpenAI's team is leading, or diving deep into a particular educational topic or theme. A second is actually creating some of that short form content. So this could be those short videos. For example, we are working with a group that is focused on upskilling to create a short series that's like AI for job seekers. So it would be 5 short videos focused on how people who are looking for jobs can use AI in their job search. So whether that's giving feedback on their resume or searching online job boards. And this partner really has a lot of deep expertise in that. So they'll be collaborating with our engineers to figure out, okay, are we using all of the AI tools kind of to their fullest potential? And can we tailor that to our specific audience? And then we'll post that on the OpenAI Academy website. And then they'll also share it in their own channels, whether that's YouTube or somewhere else that they have an audience that they might be reaching. And the last way to partner with OpenAI Academy is hosting in-person workshops. So if this is something you're interested in, then we can basically enable our partners to host these events themselves. That could be using a template that we create that focuses on starting with some kind of laying some groundwork about what is AI, what are the basics, and then gets pretty quickly into some of the applications and tools. So that might be prompt engineering, it could be deep research, but making sure to kind of at least focus on a couple of really practical ways that that audience can begin using AI. So that's something that we do. Sometimes our team will attend those, but often we're working with the partner to enable them to lead those independently. And here's another example I just wanted to highlight with another one of the colleges in the consortium, Miami-Dade College. So when I went to visit Miami-Dade as part of our OpenAI Academy kickoff in December of last year, we were just super impressed by the curriculum the college had developed in terms of different kind of AI clinics and classes that were focused on these practical applications of AI. And so we followed up with that team to see, how can we share some of the kind of lessons from that program with a larger audience, and then decided to collaborate on this webinar, which is actually coming up this Thursday. So if you guys are interested, then definitely encourage you to register. But just want to kind of end here with this example because I think it's kind of a perfect example of what our goal is with OpenAI Academy. So elevating some of this practical AI knowledge that's being developed by leaders in the field, whether those are colleges or students or small businesses, and then taking that, giving it a broader platform on the OpenAI Academy website so that more people can take advantage of those resources. So that's kind of the overview. Definitely excited to answer your questions, but before that, I will hand off to my colleague Kevin, who can talk a little bit more about how colleges and universities are adopting and using OpenAI tools.
Thanks, Alex. And good to be here with everybody. I think it's an exciting moment right now as you think about your role at the institution and all that's happening around us. But it's certainly a scary time too. Want to give a voiceover of our enterprise strategy here at OpenAI and talk a little bit about how we're partnering with institutions like yours to help them adapt and really accelerate with AI. So a concept I wanted to start with is this idea of an AI native college campus where AI is really interwoven across the fabric of life on campus for students, for faculty, and for staff. This is really the vision that we're leveraging in terms of guiding us in our partnership strategy on the ground with campuses across the US like yours. And really, the ultimate goal here is really to revamp the idea of education with AI at the center. Next slide. The centerpiece of this strategy is our core platform for education called ChatGPT EDU, which we developed as an enterprise-grade version of ChatGPT specifically for the education segment. A few things that are unique and different about ChatGPT EDU that are worth considering. The platform is first and foremost enterprise-grade, so it provides best-in-class data security and functionality to support campus-based rollouts. A lot of institutions right now are really struggling with this in terms of cobbling together their AI strategy based on solutions that are out there in the wild that are not necessarily enterprise grade. And so this is really our antidote to that, to help support institutions in getting this to be best practice. Alongside, kind of the nuts and bolts there, EDU incorporates a number of core components on top of the ChatGPT experience that you know and love to help support collaboration at scale. And so with that, we have a number of institutions that we're partnering with to really revamp the experience to make it more versatile and more effective as a classroom-based solution specifically. Next slide. Talking specifically about three specific use cases for EDU, I want to start with teaching and learning. So first and foremost, we hear every day from faculty that are frustrated right now in terms of trying to teach in this new world of AI. A lot of core considerations here around academic integrity, around best-in-class resources and tools, and being able to promote education at scale amidst all of number one and number two. What we excel at is helping faculty and their support to enhance classrooms with AI at the center and really provide that foundational solution and support that's so critical to revamping the educational experience for the faculty member and the student. Moving on to the second piece here, a big second component that's often overlooked by higher education that I think is another area we excel in is professional services. What I mean by this is really revamping campus operations, leveraging AI to enhance productivity and the quality of that work output for staff members across campus. A big focus here is on student-facing roles, so folks that have one-to-many responsibilities of supporting student success across campus. A lot of ways that the platform can help support groups like student support, career services, and others in reaching one-to-many more efficiently and improving the quality of the impact they're having on student success. And then finishing out here with workforce development as the third leg of the chair, a lot of proof points that we're finding in terms of supporting AI-enhanced pathways to workforce through the core platform. A big piece of this is teaching students to learn with AI. AI is now the core platform utilized across the majority of enterprises today. Getting students to be functional with that technology is really critical to helping make them workforce ready. And that's a big focus for our strategies we think about working with higher education institutions. I think a good example of where we've accelerated with this strategy is our partnership with CSU. For folks that are unaware, CSU is one of the largest state systems for higher education in the US, supporting over 500,000 faculty, staff, and students. And we recently launched a strategy providing ChatGPT EDU support across the entire state. So all 23 campuses now leveraging ChatGPT EDU as part of faculty teaching and learning, student success, workforce development, you name it. A big focus of this partnership is workforce development. CSU is partnered specifically with a catchment of target employers to co-curate pathways to workforce, leveraging AI at the center. The goal here is really to turn around the trend that we're seeing with recent graduate employment and help empower students to be workforce ready for the workforce of the future. Moving forward here. So kind of providing a quick, summary here, and a lot of information on this page. High level, we are partnered with over 150 of the major higher education institutions across the U.S. in helping adapt and enhance these strategies and more. And we would love to talk with your institution about a strategy for your students. And as you think about getting started, certainly encourage you to touch base with any of your colleagues or peers you see across this list of institutions here on the right. Many more that we can also provide for follow-up. So with that, I think we're moving into Q&A here.
Awesome. Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Great. Thank you.
We invite everyone to type your questions on the Q&A section. It's easier than the chat. We see already some questions available.
So one that I think that you touched on is about how they can work with the Academy. So someone is asking if you can provide a link to be able to do that, to be able to share content and things like that.
Yeah, I can put in the chat. So there's the link to the OpenAI Academy website, which is academy.openai.com. Let me make sure I send that to everybody. And then if you're interested in kind of a deeper partnership with the Academy, like hosting an event, then you should reach out to our team, me and Jane, and you can do that at academy.openai.com.
I see, Alex, a question on the chat about interest in work to learn opportunities, especially focus on real world AI adoption for enterprise employees. So I assume this is more like real projects. If there is any connection on the content from the Academy with real projects that potential learners can leverage and use.
Yeah, so I think as I was trying to describe, our focus with the OpenAI Academy in our community partnerships is really highlighting some of these real world use cases and applications. So I think this event that we're doing on Thursday with Miami-Dade College will have some good examples of that because the students there were participating in clinics that were, partnering with local Miami area businesses to be developing and applying AI solutions. So I think that's a good example that a lot of our programming tries to highlight those types of real world applications. We don't necessarily have kind of like exercises that are with partners like that that are hosted on OpenAI Academy, but we try to highlight some of the ones that are out there and make sure that people are able to learn from them.
I think there is a question for Kevin about the EDU program being available internationally.
Yes, we do work internationally. We have a growing footprint of schools across the globe, and so that would be an option.
So the question says how ChatGPT EDU will work globally. It will work the same, right?
So definitely some nuance to that question. We currently, from a pricing perspective, we currently work off of USD, but we're slowly moving forward with localizing our strategy, and in the future, I would anticipate having price be part of that. So looking at localized currency as we think about getting started. Of course, there's a number of additional considerations as you think about localization. Certain economies have certain priorities from a workforce perspective. So we're definitely staying mindful of that and partnering at the highest level with key countries and ministries of education to help support that.
And there is a follow-up question about with the EDU. I missed it now. So a couple of things EDU, are the students' data and queries shared and or visible to the institution?
So ChatGPT EDU is an enterprise-grade platform, meaning it's completely data secure and all data stays within the workspace, not being used to train our models. Now, we do offer the capability for select individuals on the admin team to help support with a compliance API to monitor for specific things, but that does follow the same guidelines as far as data security.
And then another one for you will be, what are the requirements for application into the ChatGPT EDU program?
Yeah, so ChatGPT EDU is a paid partnership, so we would have to get in touch and take a closer look at the institution's priorities to try to suss out what a starting point could look like. We certainly have some rubrics though that we can follow to help streamline that. I included a link in the chat here that would provide a little bit more information if you're curious to get more insight. Um, openai.com/chatgpt/education.
So I see one question here. Do any of your OpenAI Academy courses align with a career pathway? Example, AI engineering, DevOps engineer, or any others?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, all of our OpenAI Academy content is a little bit more general than a specific career pathway. So we have it organized by user group, including um, K-12 educators, college students, small businesses, and a few others. But something we are working on are some of these kind of specific career pathways. So I mentioned the job seekers one. We're also working on one for IT and cybersecurity. So there should be some of those career-specific educational tracks rolling out over the next several months.
I see another one, Kevin. Do you have to be a student or faculty member of ChatGPT EDU to use that specific product? I assume it requires institutional engagement with you first, right?
Yeah, great question. So this would be limited to internal faculty, staff, and students. We are working more and more with continuing education programs as well, and so there are some parameters there we need to follow, but generally we're looking for your internal audience.
There's another one here. Does the OpenAI Academy have labs or projects that students can complete and play with?
OpenAI Academy doesn't have a labs component right now. I do think there's another program at OpenAI that's focused on labs. I'm not versed in the details there. I'm not sure if you are, Kevin, but if not, then we can try to follow up about that.
Yeah, we do have a lab of sorts where we're working closely with key institutions and their students to try to research new directions for the platform. Um, in addition, we have a Students Champions program where we partner with students to evangelize AI across campus, leveraging their insight and guidance. So, a couple of specific examples there of how we'll partner on the ground to promote innovation.
And a question for you, Alex, how we can collaborate with OpenAI Academy to offer various courses? So what is your model for partnerships and collaboration?
Yes, I think there's a couple of things. So one is if you're interested in offering the courses and content that we have already developed, but on your own LMS or on your own platform, then you can reach out to us and we can figure out a way to give you all access. We're really focused on making OpenAI Academy as accessible to as many people as possible. A second is if you are interested in developing your own content. So maybe it's on one of those career tracks that we were discussing, and you have that expertise in-house, whether it is, a professor or a group of professors that have that expertise, um, then we'd be happy to chat about that. So you could reach out to me and we could explore some ideas. But generally, we would be looking for the partner that has the domain expertise to take the lead in terms of developing that program of, here is how this, particular domain can be adopting AI. And then what our team will do is review it and provide feedback. So make sure that they're leveraging our tools to their fullest possibility, giving some lesson or some feedback on, maybe good frameworks for sharing and educating about AI that we've seen be successful elsewhere. But we really want to make sure that we're not being overly prescriptive from OpenAI's perspective about kind of how exactly this content should be shared, given that we're partnering with organizations that have that expertise and credibility in their own communities.
Right. And quick follow-up on that. I see a couple of questions about your contact information. How can they reach out based on what you just said? Not sure if it was part of your slides or if you are adding that.
Yes, I'll put it back in the chat, but you can reach out to me and the team at academy@openai.com.
Perfect. Thank you. And then follow up, really interesting question for the audience that we're serving. For faculty who are more skeptical, what specific support has been most effective in getting them to engage with these AI tools?
I can take that. Certainly a healthy amount of skepticism right now with faculty on the question of academic integrity and other potential concerns. Yeah, I think for me, the biggest step change there is really helping faculty see all that's possible, really outside of their core concern, to really teach better and enhance really the classroom, based learning component. Um, a couple examples here I can share. So we have faculty that are leveraging role-playing GPTs, for instance, to help students engage with 18th century philosophers. They're leveraging data visualization on the fly through ChatGPT to conduct data analysis. So just worlds of possibility here that we're able to educate faculty on in terms of how they can take their teaching to the next level. And I think that's usually a great antidote to the concerns on the front end. Now, of course, we have to get academic integrity right, or we can't get there. And so this is also part and parcel to underscoring the differences with our enterprise grade platform and strategy in supporting data security and best in class support there. So a few thoughts there on that question. Of course, like this is a journey, and we are right there in lockstep with faculty and helping support them.
Thank you, Kevin. I see a couple of questions with faculty being skeptical, so that's a great answer. Cynthia, I see a question for the consortium. If there are opportunities to help through volunteering or contracting, and if so, how can someone know? How can they let you know that they're interested? If you can share the email on the chat
Yes.
for them to reach out.
I'm going to share that on the chat. And then as well, there is a question on if someone is interested to find the list of the institutions that you're already working with, how can they be able to see that?
So we promote case studies on our website. That would be probably a good destination for folks that want to learn more. So openai.com, and you can navigate to stories. Of course, like if there's a specific question you have for follow-up, we're happy to engage and provide referrals where that's helpful.
And Alex, I know you have already shared how to collaborate with you, but there are a couple of questions about hackathons. Are you engaging in hackathons as well?
Yeah, so we support hackathons that are led by our partners. So if a university or another group wants to put on a hackathon for their students, then we can provide either ChatGPT plus accounts for that hackathon or API credits. Um, so that's the main way we're able to support hackathons. We don't have the capacity to be like directly running those or bringing staff to them. But if you're interested in running them in-house, we can make sure that you have access to the tools that everybody will need.
Good. So, okay, Kevin, you want to say something?
Yeah, as an additional resource, want to promote OpenAI Forum. It's a great, it's a webinar-based platform that we leverage to enable our partners to share best practices that they're finding on campus. A lot of great talks in there from some amazing institutions and leaders on campus. Encourage you to check that out if you're curious to learn more from their perspective on how they're leveraging our core tools and solutions.
So I see a couple of good questions here that are coming now. If OpenAI Academy tackles topics around AI and ethics.
Yeah, yes. So that is one of the topics that we include in OpenAI. Often it's within a specific domain. So, AI ethics policy in the K-12 classroom is one example.
And this is more about your opinion, but what is the next big wave of AI that students should be focusing in learning right now?
Yeah, I'm happy to share just some personal thoughts and then Kevin, please jump in as well. But the buzzword on everybody's mind right now is agents. And I think everybody has a little bit of a different definition of agents, but we think about it as being able to independently apply a tool on a user's behalf. So I think there will be lots of opportunities for people to be developing their own agents, based on our API or others, to execute particular tasks. I think it'll just be kind of a really hot space to watch as we learn more about how to make agents, most useful and successful and safe for users. But Kevin, please jump in with any thoughts as well.
Yeah, just adding to that, I think there's a lot of trepidation around AI right now, certainly for students in particular, and not without cause, right? I think there's some metrics out there, that indicate that employers are now prioritizing these skills. They think about the next candidate coming through. So if I were a student, I would actually, take the opposite approach of getting super simple and just simply trying to start with AI, whatever task you're working on, whatever goal you're trying to accomplish, just get started with an AI platform. That will intuitively teach you the skills to figure out what's next, and you can grow from there. And I think that's kind of naturally what we're all doing, frankly, here in the workforce, in terms of adapting and growing our skill sets. And so that would be my 2 cents.
So, a couple of new questions now, Kevin. One question for your side. I'm seeing mostly 4-year and graduate schools listed as ChatGPT education on the website. Are there any current community college participants in the ChatGPT education program?
Yeah, it's a great call out. We work less with community colleges, and I think it's a key priority for us looking forward to do more here. We do have some colleges we can point to as partners. In addition to MDC, Hawking is another one that I can think of, I believe in New York, and a few others. Of course, if we don't get community colleges right, we certainly can't solve for this challenge with workforce development and preparing the next cohort of graduates for AI enhanced workforce. So definitely, appreciate the chance to talk more about that with your institution if you're looking at this.
And Alex, are there any particular resources to help students develop low-code, no-code applications?
I think I can't remember off the top of my head if we've already launched some of the low code, no code content or if it's coming soon, but I think if it's not there yet, it'll be there soon.
Yep, good point. And another one, wondering if there is a consulting arm of the academy that can provide direction to leadership on where AI is heading and how it will impact programs, workforce, etc.
Yeah, so not as part of OpenAI Academy, but that might be something that's more in the wheelhouse of ChatGPT EDU. Kevin, is that something you want to take?
Yeah, definitely a core piece of the value that we provide to our partners is helping them understand what the future could look like, both through practical roadmap sessions where we share proprietary information about the future of our product suite, as well as just from more generalized industry insights, around education, kind of where it's headed. So a lot that we can support with there. We also are launching a consulting program, third-party consulting program to help enhance key partners with specific needs and providing external support for onboarding our solutions and accelerating our strategy. So those are some thoughts there.
Good. Overall, I see more questions that are repetitive based on what has been presenting. So just trying to curate something new. Are you looking at building more college-specific context or content contextualizing to their specific needs or leaving it to the college to use what you have. I assume it's more the second, right, Alex?
For OpenAI Academy, that's more our approach. It's about, amplifying the expertise that is native in these colleges, and there's so much of that is already out there, already in development. Something we actually just announced today on LinkedIn is that we are inviting faculty to contribute directly to OpenAI Academy by making short videos on a particular topic about how they're using AI. So we're hoping to get, dozens of those uh, developed over the course of the summer. And that way, by the time the, school year is starting in the fall, we'll have this new kind of resource bank of educational content for faculty and staff at universities. So that's definitely something to look out for, either as a resource for you to take advantage of, or for something for some of you to contribute to if you're more advanced in your AI adoption personally.
Thank you. And I see a question specifically for Miami-Dade College that I can take if there are any specific classes training for faculty at Miami-Dade College. So yes, that's through our Center for Learning. So that's a very specific Miami-Dade College question. But outside of the training that we do offer to our faculty, Alex shared a session that is happening with OpenAI Academy that is open to anyone. Students, faculty, administrators, anyone can join. And it's really, would be great to have faculty attending that session as well. And the link is already on the chat. So now, see a couple of questions about students with disabilities. If there is any way to, how do you see AI helping people with unseen disabilities from, like, I assume from the perspective of the academy, how can they consume your content if there is any specific solution from a disabilities perspective?
Yeah, so I think one thing that's important to highlight is that the Academy website is compatible with screen readers as well as with translation, like browser-based translation tools. I think besides that, it's still an area that we're hoping to develop more. I think there's one, I was actually just right before this at a meeting with our partners at UNICEF, the global nonprofit. And one thing we've been working with them on is a OpenAI powered tool that converts educational content from traditional formats like textbooks into accessible digital formats. So we're just at a stage of kind of piloting that tool. But our goal is once that tool is developed, that it will be open source so that anybody's able to use it. And then we're working on a couple of kind of big partnerships with organizations that focus on making content accessible to students with disabilities so that they can be adopting it and rolling it out. So definitely more to come in that space.
Good. So overall, I feel most of the questions, the others are probably very personal and specific, but one that I see, Alex already shared how to contact OpenAI. Kevin, I see a question, how can they contact the EDU unit or you specifically?
Yeah, so I'd encourage folks to go to the link up above for ChatGPT education. And there is an option there to submit your information if you want to learn more, and that will be routed to the right person from there.
And
Evan, do you also mind putting in the link for
Yeah.
the Student Champion program?
We don't have a link per se at this point, but we can definitely get, schools that are interested routed to the right people on email. This program is brand new. We've literally just launched it. So, but excited about it. I think it's going to drive some great engagement on campus.
Good. Just making sure that you mentioned a link. Is that link already on the chat?
Yeah, let me repost it here so folks
Okay.
have it.
No. If it is, no, it's just, I wasn't tracking the chat, so good. Thank you.
Okay.
So good. I feel like a lot of questions. I hope we thank you both, Alex, Kevin, for representing the Academy and EDU respectively. We're super excited with the opportunity for academic institutions, especially faculty, to use all the resources available. And thank you for making yourself available. And we're super excited. Thank you especially for having all your resources available for free on the Academy, and then great opportunities on the EDU unit to help academic institutions. We appreciate it in the name of all academic institutions in the United States. Thank you for making that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks so much for having us. I really appreciate you organizing this, Antonio and Cynthia, and then for everybody for attending. But yeah, we're really excited. We're just getting started. So hopefully a lot more to come, both in terms of what OpenAI Academy is able to offer, but also in terms of how schools are adopting and applying AI. So, appreciate you all being here today.
Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Everybody.